Thank you for watching Retro Tech Toys. We're back again, and I wanted to do this video last week, but there were a lot of issues that went along with getting this to review, and I'll talk about those when we come back. So in this video, we're going to unbox this. We're going to see what this is. It's called the Tauon PC1 from Tauon Electronics. We're going to check it out. We're going to see what it is and what it does, and we're going to see if it's worth the $75 price tag that it retails for. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started. Alright, we're back. Now, like I said, I wanted to do this video last week, but I got this in and it was completely broken when I took it out of the box. Now, the one that I got last week was shipped from China to Chicago, and then from Chicago to where I am in Tennessee, so it had quite a journey, and it was packed just like this. It had no box. And when I opened it up, it was a mess. Broken keys, it was disgusting. And I'll show you that I did do some video footage of that I recorded a few days ago, and we'll cut over to that in just a minute and check this out. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll unbox this thing, and we'll see exactly what it is and what it does and if it's worth the price tag. Before we get started, I'd just like to thank Miss RTT for my new set piece here. Check this guy out. This is the Piranha Plant from Mario Brother, and he is a lamp. And he's USB powered, and he's amazing. And she also picked me up for NES a copy of Star Tropics. So she grabbed those things for me. My birthday's not for a couple of months, but she got me an early birthday present because we saw those out and they were awesome. So she picked them up. And Miss RTT is awesome. This is going to be on my set for a while because I love it. All right, so let's get started with the Tauon PC1. Basically, you can get these from AliExpress or you can get them from eBay. I got this from eBay, and it was a seller that had like 90,000 feedbacks, so I thought everything was great. So I placed an order for one, and this is the one they sent me. It's in pretty rough shape. It arrived in this box. It didn't even have a shipping box, and not only did it not have a shipping box, but there was nothing in here. It just had a piece of tape on it, and the box was half torn open when I got it. So let's open this one up, and I'll show you why I have two. But the one they sent me, it's pretty bad. It showed up with keys broken. You can't even take those keys and put them back on. And I tried taking a few keys that didn't matter and replacing over here where I would need to push the most buttons, but it was just a mess. And you see the function keys stuck down, and I'm not even sure that's where that's supposed to go. So this thing was just a mess. They sent it to me broken, and it had none of the accessories, and it was completely broken. And I was going to do a video on it anyway, and then I was like, I cannot do a video on a product that's not even working. So I contacted them on eBay, and they were actually really, really nice. So I understand accidents happen in the post, so they were really cool, and they sent a second one and told me to keep this first one. So that's what I plan to show you now. They were really nice about the whole thing, so props to them. I don't know if I'll throw that away or recycle it or do something with it, but we have one here, and I'm hoping it works, so let's have a look at it. I haven't opened this yet. I'm opening this with you guys for the first time, because regardless of anything, we're doing this video. Alright, so it was only taped on one side, and this side was it was a mess. So let's have a look here. And we've got accessories, and they're in there, it looks like. At least one of them is. So this is a mouse, just a cheap little USB mouse that goes with the Tauon PC1. This is an audio-video cable, and this is the power adapter. So it's got a barrel plug on it. It's not USB. I wish it were. I prefer USB, but it's got a power switch on it, so that's cool. So we have accessories. This thing takes an HDMI hookup, so I mean, it does have a section for the RCA as well, but probably not going to use that. I'm probably going to use the HDMI. Here's the unit, and it looks good. The buttons are all there. And note, that wasn't where the function button went. That's where the end button is. So there was a function button crammed in there and jammed down. What I think happened is they sent me a return unit by accident. But like I said, they were really nice, so thank you folks at Talon for sending me one that works. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I literally just surf eBay for the weirdest stuff, and if there's anything that strikes my fancy and I can afford it, I pick it up, and then I show you guys. So I don't know the folks over there, no sponsors, no payments, no anything like that. I've just found these things interesting for a while, so I finally picked one up. Let's talk about what this actually is. If we read the specs, the whole thing appears to be a single board PC, and it's not a Raspberry Pi. It's an Allwinner H3 quad-core system on a chip. It runs at 1 gigahertz, or if you put your own active cooling in here, it's supposed to go to 1.2 gigahertz. It has a Mali 400MP graphics processing unit. It supports OpenGL ES 2.0. And the display output, it says it upscales to 4K. I don't believe that for a second. It says it also does 720p, but it'll do 1080p if you put your own active cooling in here. So what that tells me is it'll do 720p, and it'll try to scale it up to 4K, and that'll probably look terrible. It comes with 1 gigabyte of DDR3 RAM, has 8 gigabytes of storage. It's got 2 USB ports, 1 SD card port, an Ethernet port, and it does support Wi-Fi, 87 key keyboard, and the operating system is Tauon OS. So when they say Tauon OS, what they probably mean is some instance of Android. It's probably running a heavily modified version of Android. I also want to take this thing apart. I'm going to take the broken one apart, not this one. But I'll take the broken one apart so you guys can see what's inside as well. And then we'll turn it on and we'll see what it does. Here's the board. This is the keyboard. Basically, it's just got a standard ribbon cable, and then what happens is that ribbon cable plugs in here, and this goes to a USB port. So you really have a couple of USB ports. You have 2 USB ports, but one is taken up with the keyboard itself. So you don't actually have 2, you have 1. There's that. Let me move this out of the way. So you've got the keyboard here. You've got this ribbon cable USB extender thing here. Here's the system on a chip. This is the Allwinner system on a chip. It says TauonElectronics.com right here. It's got an LED light. And there's the CPU, I'm pretty sure. You've got your barrel plug here, your HDMI, your Ethernet, USB, and there's an SD card slot here. Now, they have the SD card sitting on the outside of the case like that. What they do is they use one of these. This is an SD card extender. So what this does is this plugs into a micro SD card slot, and then you can just extend it out wherever you want it. And that's what they did. And they had this screwed down on the outside of the case. So there's that, and a couple of broken keys, and that is your Talon PC1. You've got this here, you've got your keyboard, you've got the system itself, and an SD card extender. Let's go ahead and see what this thing looks like when it's all set up, and then I'll hook it up to the capture card so we can check it out. There it goes. The Tauon PC, Tauon OS, and I hope I'm saying that right. I really don't know how to pronounce that. But this is it here with my favorite little monitor. I love this guy. I got this guy a couple of months ago. He's so awesome. And he honestly looks great here. It really fits the profile of this whole setup. It's the right color, and it's the right shape, and I like it a lot. Okay, that's what happens when you turn it on. You get a weird modem sound. That was really loud. From what I can see, it looks like it has a ton of bloatware installed on it. I'll have to remove a lot of that. I don't believe this comes with the Google Play Store, and I don't think you can add it. I think we have to sideload apps. This does look like Android, so it would be nice if there was a Google Play Store, but I don't believe there will be. What I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to sideload some apps onto this and get it cleaned up, and then I'm going to come back and have this running through my capture card. Alright, we're inside the program now, and this is definitely a modified version of Android. I do believe it is Android 7. The first thing we're going to check out here is Tauon Speccy. That is a ZX Spectrum emulator, and it has all sorts of options. We're going to go ahead and load a game, and it looks like it's loading it from a virtual tape. And I have no idea what the controls were, but it does load it very well. It seems to run it just fine. One thing I'd like to do is also go into Basic, because it has the Spectrum version of Basic. So let's go ahead and go into 128 Basic, and we'll just type out everybody's favorite program. Alright, now we're going to go check out some Nintendo 64. Mario Kart is notoriously difficult to run. We're running this through RetroArt, and it works. It doesn't run at full speed at all. It doesn't even come close to running at full speed, and all the buttons are not mapped properly, so I'm not going to be able to play this as well as I usually play Mario Kart, which also is not that well. I just wanted to show you guys that it does run. I would say it probably runs at like 3/4 speed, and it does have a couple of hiccups here and there, but it works okay. So old school emulation, not bad. You'd probably just stop at like Sega Genesis. After that, I wanted to go and show you a modern title, and I knew it was a long shot, but I loaded Among Us, and as you can see, it's very slow, and all it really did was continue to load and load and load, and it never stopped loading. It never actually got to the game. I actually had to turn the program off. After that, I wanted to show you, this does come with a couple of cool pixel art programs. This is called Pixelesque, and you could just go in here and do some pixel art, whether that be text or like a picture or sprites or whatever you want to do, and it works just fine. It probably wouldn't, I mean, I wouldn't expect this to have any issues because it's just like a little 8-bit pixel art program, so that's to be expected. And there was also a program that I found to learn Python, but it required the Google Play Store, and I wasn't able to load it. So this thing does okay, but just remember that it has very limited space, and it has a gig of RAM, which is not a lot anymore. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Now, is this worth the $70 that I paid for it? Would I pay that normally? Probably not. I'd probably pay about 50 bucks for it. If you want one of these, you can go on eBay and make your best offer, and maybe they'll take it. Do that if you dig what it looks like. To me, the plastic's a little bit thin, and the keys are kind of cheap, but they do feel nice to type on. The keyboard's a little bit squished together. One thing I do like about it is that it looks a lot like a ZX Spectrum, and that's pretty cool because it does have a Spectrum emulator on it. So if you're looking for something to play Spectrum games on that's modern, that can output HDMI, and that kind of looks like the real deal, even if it does just a little bit, this is probably a good thing for you. Just for the general user, I don't know if I'd use this. I don't really know if this is good for education like they claim it is. It's got some okay stuff on it, but mainly I'd just get it if I wanted something that looked a little bit like a Spectrum. And, you know, one of the things they advertised was that you could put your own single board computer in here, and you really can't without a lot of modifications. I'm thinking about doing those modifications, but that's going to be later. But anyway, thank you so much for watching Retro Tech Toys. We got more videos coming up soon. Make sure to check out the Twitter. Make sure to check out our website at retrotechtoys.com. If you like the content, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.